Hey everyone, Anders here with another Black Desert video. Today we're going to quickly go over the absolute skill nerfs for Maegu. I want to clarify this only affects Awakening Maegu. Succession Maegu did get nerfed as well this week, but we'll go over those changes in a separate video later this week. If you're newer to the game and don't know what absolute skills are, when you reach Awakening and Succession at level 56 for your class, you unlock your two main class specializations. You get a second weapon and brand new skills for Awakening, and in Succession you use the same weapon you've been using since level 1, but gain enhanced versions of your skills called Prime Skills. On top of Awakening getting new skills, they're also able to access the base skills of the class called Pre-Awakening Absolute Skills. Hopefully that makes sense. With that said, the absolute skills for Maegu have been decimated. Absolute skills were too good to be left alone on top of the Awakening skill damage that Maegu is getting, so I do understand where they're coming from, but it's still kind of shocking to see. Across the board, we're seeing about 50% damage reduction in both PvE and PvP. Some have also lost their effects. For example, Bared Claws, your ALMB skill, which also becomes a C-swap skill in Awakening when you transition from Awakening stance to Pre-Awakening stance, that has a 9% evasion debuff on hits, which is very powerful. It's no longer there on the absolute version of the skill Awakening can use, but it's still there for the Prime version in Succession. Soulsnare, your F skill in Pre-Awakening, no longer has the 20% attack speed, cast speed, and movement speed slow, which again was very powerful but maybe not needed, with the new Shift Q skill in Awakening being even better than this skill. Flower Shroud, your SE skill, no longer has a stun CC in PvP, which takes away a very powerful CC tool you had access to in Awakening, but you do have a lot of floating CC in the core Awakening kit and can even gain an additional protected knockdown CC for Shift Q with the bond of that skill, so not a total loss. It is weird, however, how Flower Shroud was the only skill to gain damage in PvP, but honestly, I think the damage reduction number on the tooltip is a typo, as it should say 85% damage reduction instead of 58% to keep it in line with the nerfed damage of other skills. Regardless, the skill doesn't do a ton of damage anyway, so you're not really using Flower Shroud for PvP damage. Not really something to worry about. I just found that strange. Spirited Away, your SLMB skill, is also one of the changes that hurts. You no longer have that 9% accuracy buff on that skill in the absolute version, so you can't use it to buff your damage in Awakening. And finally, Heavenward Dance used to have a 20 AP debuff on hits, no longer has that in the absolute version. Again, remember, we're talking about the absolute skills, not the prime skills in Succession Maegu. Those effects have not changed. So those are the absolute skill nerfs for Maegu, which again will affect Awakening Maegu when she releases, but just from the beta testing I've been doing, the Pre-Awakened kit, as in all of these absolute skills, are still good for ranged kiting and protection. You deal less damage, of course, but the burst in Awakening is strong enough theoretically that you can fish for CC using your Pre-Awakened kit and move in instantly for Awakening combos. Awakening Wusa, when she released, was kind of similar, but in that case you were swapping to Pre-Awakened Wusa skills because Awakening was just too awkward and lacked protection to effectively use in PvP. For Awakening Maegu, it doesn't really feel like that. It's more of a case of the developers said, you know, maybe if we give Awakening Maegu too good of a kit in Awakening, and she also gets to keep all of her absolute skills, on top of that, she's gonna be way overtuned, and I think they're right. As long as they don't butcher the PvP damage reduction in Awakening, she should be fine. Awakening Maegu releases in a couple of days, so I'm going to try and set your expectations for how she's going to release. She will most likely get buffed at launch in PvE damage, almost certainly, and she may get some skill effect nerfs, especially Shift Q, because that skill does way too much. Spirited Away, your SLMB skill in Pre-Awakening and Succession, that took a while before it got nerfed. That skill had range, massive damage, accuracy buff, and was a forward guard on a decent cooldown, and it was not nerfed on release. The main issue with Shift Q in Awakening from a player perspective is the slow on a protected skill that can also be a knockdown CC, one of the more powerful crowd control types, all in one skill. On top of that, the 100% ultimate version of that skill has an even stronger slow effect and deals good damage, so we may see some changes on that one. I'm playing Awakening Maegu 100% when she releases. It's a fun class, it needs some tweaks, but nothing fundamentally wrong with it. Let me know what you think about Awakening Maegu and these absolute skill nerfs in the comments. I may also have another Black Desert video for you July 4th, not sure yet, but if you are celebrating July 4th in the US, hope you have a nice time with your loved ones, and as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.